selling your house sucks. It's the worst. You gotta take the pictures off the wall, you have to move stuff around, you gotta declutter, all that nonsense. Make your house look like HGTV, but you know what? I'm Trey with the Cavalry Group, brokered by Real. I'm gonna make this process not so bad. So the goal of selling your house is to juice out as much equity as possible. Now, when you take out that equity, you can use it for whatever the hell you want. If you want to buy something, another house, 3 houses, if you want to buy your car, your neighbor's dog, whatever, you want to buy something out of that equity. My goal is to make sure that you milk every cent of that equity and maximize your sale. So the things I'm telling you today are some of the things you don't have to do to not make it so sucky, and some of the things that you just should consider. So here we go. Let's dive right in. Once you're ready for your house to go on the market, what does that mean? Let's break that down a little bit. So once you're ready, you need to know for what you can realistically sell your house. It is never just one price. It should be a range. It should be within $20,000 or $40,000. And the reason I'm saying that is because the market changes every single day. So something comes up for sale. If 4 houses for sale pop up in your street, well, then that's going to decrease your value. Vice versa, if no houses are for sale, it's going to increase the demand in your neighborhood, which is great for you. Aside from the things that everybody knows, which is decluttering, cleaning, taking your family's picture off, your dog pictures off the wall, people consider upgrades. So what I would say is don't waste your money on crazy upgrades that your neighbors don't have. So here's the secret. Look at what your neighbor's house sold for. Look at the upgrades they've had, because most likely that house was appraised. Usually it's with a loan. Sometimes it's cash, but mostly it's with a loan. So when that house closes with a loan, you want to see the average of your neighborhood and adjust your house accordingly. Example is if all the houses on your street have marble countertops, well, then you should consider putting in marble countertops to get the value up, because an appraiser is going to ding you for condition if you don't have what's typical in that neighborhood. Now, if nobody has any kind of marble, granite, stone countertops, and everyone has Formica, but the neighborhood is super hot and it's really close to some amenity, well, then I wouldn't change your countertops to a nicer countertop. So it has to be, to maximize your value, it has to be pretty much the average of what the highest comparables are. So whatever that means to your neighborhood, that's what you should look at. So if another example is carpet. If other houses have sold for a higher price with carpet, don't put in tile beautiful floors and waste your time and money. When I recommend upgrades, I want to see at least 150% return. So if I recommend $10,000 of upgrades and fixtures and paint and whatnot, that's typically going to get you $15,000 in return. That's the best way and the least amount of risk to do repairs, because sometimes people do want move-in ready. So if I see at least that return, I'm gonna recommend it. If it's not at least that return, I don't think it's worth your time. The most important and the last thing you need to know when you sell your house is, what do you enter into the market as far as price? Everybody wants the most out of their house. Of course, I want the most out of my house when I sell it eventually. When that happens, it's important what you price your house. Based on all these algorithms, the Zillows, the Trulias, Realtor, Redfins, Bluefin, Purplefin, all these websites are going to have algorithms to see which people are clicking, and it's gonna feed into people's emails, it's gonna be shareable, it's gonna be featured along with ads. So with that, you want to price your house favorably. Let's say the market reports and what you would sell this at is gonna be $400,000. So if that $400,000 price is what you would get, I would recommend based on inventory that's in your neighborhood. So if there's 10 houses for sale and there's only 100 houses in the neighborhood, what I would do is price it lower so you get the interest into the house. That's where we can capture people's information and again, follow up to see if they want the house. If not, at the minimum, we get some feedback. So entering that market as lower is going to be better. because we get people in the door, we get to talk to them and see how the house could fit their needs. Now, let's say there's no inventory. If you're in a neighborhood that doesn't have a lot of houses for sale, well, then we want to create a bidding war with every house. So we may get into the market a little bit higher, but you still want to be competitively priced, because the hack is that you don't have to accept an offer that is your price. Believe it or not, you can still say no to an offer. If you're listed at $400,000 and you get an offer for $400,000, believe it or not, you can still say no. It's your house. So with that being said, you can say no to the offer and negotiate the fees in the purchase agreement, which is the title fees, which is survey, anything of those sorts can net you more money. So the third way you can enter the market is if you try to price it too high. There's pros and cons to that. You may get an offer which is higher, but you also won't get as much interest because these algorithms like Zillow's and Realtors, Bluefin, Redfin, those are going to feed information in a general aspect. You're going to use this comparable, this neighborhood. They don't live there. They don't know exactly where the borders are. And the information is only as good as what realtors put in. So you're going to have basically this blob effect of this spit out number that the house is worth. And if it's lower, then people are going to think, because they're not familiar with the area, oh, it's overpriced. And then that's going to create where there's higher days on market, and the more higher days on market, you know what's going to happen. Those are the best steps on how to sell your house effectively and suck out all the equity you can. This is Trey with the Calvary Group, broken by Real.